Movsar Evloev is being absolutely fucked over in the UFC. So after Yair Rodriguez broke his two-fight losing streak, in which he lost to Alexander Volkanovski, yeah, no shame in that, but he lost to one-legged Brian Ortega, and they've just boosted Yair Rodriguez up the rankings for beating unranked Patricio Pitbull. I don't understand it. I really don't. Like, Yair lost to such a bad version of Brian Ortega that it's actually like shameful in my opinion. Like this is the same Brian Ortega who's 1-3 in his last four. I know one of them is technically a loss to Yair by weird circumstances. So Yair does technically have a win over Brian Ortega, but he came back 2 years later, rolled his ankle during the introductions, and then got subbed by that Ortega after dropping him and hurting him so many times. Like, it's just insane to me that he could lose to that version. Like, Ortega looked awful, awful against Diego Lopez. And, the same Diego Lopez who then went on to lose to Volk 49-46 or 48-47, who clearly lost to Volk, no matter what some idiots on Instagram might say. Like, how are the UFC even, like, thinking about giving Yair Rodriguez another title shot? It makes no sense to me. Movsar Evloev is on the longest streak. He's 19-0 as an MMA fighter. Like, he is on an insane streak. Yes, does he have many knockouts? Not at all. He's got all decisions in the UFC. I know. It's not a great look, but, like, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins in the UFC. To give the guy his title shot. He beat Aljamain Sterling, former UFC champion. A guy who was, bantamweight champion, one of the greatest bantamweights of all time. I don't care what people say. Yeah, there may be some asterisks, but he beat Peter Yan by DQ. Then he beat him by decision. Then he beat TJ Dillashaw. Then he beat Henry Cejudo. Like, he's got he had a few title defenses. He was an actual champion. Lighter man skill. You got to remember the guys from the lower weight classes are almost always more skilled than the higher weight classes. Sometimes there's an exception, but like that's impressive for Movsar to go in there and beat a guy like that. And he was a bantamweight at one point in his career too. But Movsar deserves the title shot. There's nobody else above Movsar Evloev. I don't know why there is even talk of Yair Rodriguez getting the title shot because it's just ridiculous. The guy doesn't deserve it. I'm a big Yair Rodriguez fan too, by the way. I don't think this is me hating on Yair. I love Yair. Yair is the fighter that turned me into a hardcore fan. I used to watch UFC sort of casually. I'd catch a card every time I could on Foxtel. But then when I watched Yair Rodriguez spinning elbow KO the Korean Zombie with the last second of the fifth round, that's what hooked me into a hardcore fan. So I really do like Yair Rodriguez, don't get me wrong, but Movsar Evloev just deserves the title shot. He's number 4 in the rankings. He's beat Arnold Allen, even though I thought Allen sort of won that. He beat Aljamain Sterling, clearly. I don't know why people are saying Aljo deserved that. Like, he beat Dan Ige, and Dan Ige is, like, actually really good. Like, Dan Ige, nobody's beat Dan Ige like Movsar Evloev did. Beat Diego Lopez, like, who literally just fought for the belt, who has a loss to Movsar. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that they're not giving him a title shot. He deserves it. Like, by far, Movsar Evloev is the most worthy. He's more worthy than Yair Rodriguez. He's more worthy than Leroy Murphy, who's like number 8. He's not getting the shot. Ilya's going to be out of the rankings. He's up to lightweight. Max Holloway's in the rankings. He's going to be moving up to lightweight. So that's 2 people out of the rankings. You got to move Movsar up to like 3rd, I guess. But then that makes Yair 2nd. But Yair said in his post-fight interview that Hunter Campbell had promised him a title shot if he was to win this fight. Fuck off. Nobody wants to see Yair Rodriguez versus Alexander Volkanovski too. I'm a big Volk fan. I know he would defeat Yair easily, but it would be such a Mickey Mouse title defense. Why would we want this? This isn't going to help his legacy. And plus, Movsar Evloev, is so much better for his legacy. First off, but I actually think it's a very good stylistic matchup for Volk. That's not the like that. Is that a sort of reason why I want him to fight Movsar? Not exactly. I do think just Movsar deserves the shot, but you're telling me we can get Volk against somebody who doesn't have a finishing threat, who's not super powerful, who is like mostly a wrestler, not a striker. Like, come on, let me have this, please. I don't want to shit myself every time Volk gets a shot thrown at him against like he did against Diego Lopez. And yeah, I think he would beat Yair as well. And but you'd be a little bit scared at moments against Yair, but it doesn't mean Yair gets the title shot. Like we've seen that fight play out. We've seen Volk dominate him. Yair didn't have a moment of success in that fight. It was all Volk. Volk wrestle fucked him. He beat him up. He knocked him out. Yeah, like it was just there was no reason to run this fight back. If Diego Lopez would have won, okay, then I can see the argument for it. But Yair should fight Diego Lopez regardless. Not for a title, obviously, because Diego Lopez lost to Alexander Volkanovski. But they should do Yair versus Diego Lopez. And then Movsar should get a Volk. Do it on the same card. Then you can have the Yair versus Diego Lopez fight as a backup or something like that. But you can't just give him a. I'm sick of fighters getting a title shot after one win. Yair Rodriguez was on a two-fight losing streak. Not only a two-fight losing streak, but he literally one of those losses was to Volk. He does not deserve another title shot because he beat Patricio Pitbull, who's 38 years old, and he's been washed. I think I remember the whole narrative was like, oh yeah, it just shows the level of the UFC compared to Bellator. No, it doesn't. Not at all. It shows that Patricio Pitbull's washed. He's 37, almost 38 years old. He's old. He's got into the UFC too late. This isn't because Yair is like that much of a that level above. It's because Yair is a younger fighter and Patricio Pitbull has taken insane amount of damage. His last couple of fights got knocked out in Japan, got beaten up by AJ McKee, got beaten up by Sergio Pettis at bantamweight. Like he's just taken a lot of damage. He's put his body through a lot. He's been fighting for so long. He's been fighting since like 2004, I think. So he's literally been fighting for like 21 years. Like obviously the guy's gone through a lot of wear and tear for his body. Like I don't think it's a win that gets you a title shot. If I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think anybody really wants a Yair Rodriguez versus Volk 2. It's just Mexican privilege. When it comes to like these Mexican fighters, the UFC are always trying to push uh, Mexican cards, want to get cards in Mexico. They want a Mexican champion. That's what they really want. And that's what they want from Yair. They want Yair to be a Mexican champion, but he's not going to win. He's just not. I don't think Movsar would beat Volk either, but like he's never fought him. It's a fresh matchup. It's a fight we haven't seen. He deserves this title shot. Is he the most entertaining barn burner fighter? No, but he is. I feel like underrated a little bit when it comes to like his entertainment value. Like the fight against Aljo was so good with like had so many cool sprawls and like the grappling was actually a treat to watch. I'm not just saying that bro, I'm real hardcore man. Like I'm not like talking like that. I actually generally think there was some cool grappling exchanges in that fight. Who wouldn't want to see how Volk handles that style? I think Volk would beat the crap out of Movsar Evloev, to be honest with you guys, but he deserves a shot. We can't just say on paper, we can't go full Anthony Smith here and be like, hey, on paper, Volk destroys him, so let's not even do the fight. No, you have to see how the fight will actually go. And the UFC need to give Movsar Evloev his shot. Because it's not fair. It's not fair to anybody that Movsar Evloev has been moved down the rankings. He's been very active. He's had more fights than Yair. I believe, or at least he's won a lot more fights than Yair. Let me check. He beat Diego Lopez May 2023. Then he beat Arnold Allen January 2024. Beat Sterling December 2024. Okay, so not like super active, but then let's compare that to Yair Rodriguez, who he fought Ortega February 2024, and they didn't fight for over a year. It's been over a year since he fought Ortega. Then he beat Pitbull. So he fights once a year normally, but he did fight Emmett in February 2023. Like I don't know, there's just no you can't give him you can't give him the title shot. I don't care. I don't care that he's from Mexico and there's a market the UFC want to branch into. You can't give him the shot. You just can't. It's not fair. It's not fair to anybody. I know Movsar's not the most entertaining fighter, and he deserves the title shot. Like that's all it is. The guy deserves the title shot. 19-0. Let Volk take that O, please. Like just him fighting Yair, that's a waste of a fight. Yair should earn it. If Yair goes on a run, then yeah, do the fight. But he's got one win out of his last three fights. He's 1-3 in his last four. What is the point? Like seriously, what is the point? What are we doing here? It's just the UFC keep giving out these stupid title shots that don't make any sense. It's just this is meant to be a sport. Sorry, yeah, uh, he's 2-2 in his last four, not 1-3. I was talking about fucking Izzy at one point there, but now he's like what? I think he's like 1-3 in his last four, 1-5, 1-4 in his last five, something like that. So, but I was getting him confused there. But yeah, he's 1-2 in his last three fights. Like you can't do it. You can't do it. Patricio Pitbull's not a title fight winning performance. Like it wasn't like craziest fight either. It wasn't like super entertaining. Sort of like it was a bit of a disappointing fight to be honest. Obviously, the third round, Yair almost gets a knockout, but still, just give Movsar Evloev the title shot for God's sake. Because then you're just gonna have to hear about his fans saying that Volk's ducking him and all this stuff. Volk's not ducking him. Volk wants the fight. So just please, for the love of God, just make the fight happen. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, put on notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Movsar Evloev, don't screw him. Let him get his title shot for God's sake.